Hey there, welcome back to Work-Life Harmony. So as you know, here on this channel, we like to cover all things time management, organization, and productivity. Today, we're going to be talking about both time savings and organizational savings with an amazing guest. But first, my name is Megan Sumrell. I am a time management expert for women, and I'm on a mission to bring work-life harmony into homes all over the world through all things time management, organization, and productivity. So today I am going to be introducing you to the CEO and founder of Color Guru. She is incredible, and the business she has built is exploding. So you definitely are going to want to listen up to this. Her zone of genius is supporting people in getting a color analysis done, and all this can be done virtually. And once you've had this done, I had mine done a few years back. I will tell you, it has saved time when it comes to shopping. It has saved me a tremendous amount of money when it comes to shopping. It has also saved time around figuring out what to wear. And finally, it has helped maintain and keep not only my closet organized, but it has helped me build a repeatable system that keeps it organized. And friends, when you have this in place, this is something that you can gift and teach all the other people in your life as well. So without further ado, I'm really excited to have you meet Jeannie. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to Work-Life Harmony. All right, if you are doing the bad kind of multitasking right now where you're only half listening, I encourage you to stop because you are going to want to hear what my amazing guest has to say. I have been in her world for several years. I am one of her biggest fans. I use her product. Today, we're really going to talk into how her services can ultimately help you save time in three very distinct ways. So welcome to the show, Jeannie. I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell everyone all how you launched the Color Guru.
Sure. Hi, Megan. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Jeannie Stith, and I'm the founder and CEO of Color Guru. And the way Color Guru started was that I was shopping with my aunt like 20 years ago. And she said to me, "I think you're buying all the wrong colors for yourself." She just put it out there. That's her opinion. And she's like, "You need to get your colors done." And I had never heard of this concept. Didn't even know it was a thing. And I lived in the Philadelphia area at the time, and we were looking for someone to do my colors. We looked online a little bit, and couldn't find anything. Just couldn't find it. The service had sort of fallen out of trend. It was very trendy in like the 80s and early 90s.
That's when my grandmother had mine done.
Exactly. So many people, so many, of our moms and grandmothers had their colors done. Finally, a year later, I happened upon a woman who was retired and still doing colors out of her home. And I went to her, and she gave me a color palette that was pretty dated, but I started trying some of the colors that I could find on the, on the little swatch book she gave me. And I was like, whoa, I do look so much better in these colors. Maybe there is something to this. And then I took 8 of my friends to her because they all wanted it done. And I thought, how is it that me and 8 of my friends want this service and nobody's offering it? This is crazy. Right. So I was doing other things at the time. I was having babies, and I had a great career that I loved in the voiceover world. I was a voiceover artist for, 20 years. And then but it stuck in the back of my mind, like, oh, if I ever started a business, I would bring this concept back in like a fresh, modern way and, redo the color palettes, make them modern, make the colors really findable and beautiful. And so that's what I did, because what I found, even with that dated color palette, even what I found was that it solved so many problems in my closet. So I started looking better in everything I wore. I started being more intentional about what I bought, and everything I bought looked good on me color-wise, so I'd go shopping and it was so much easier. And then all my clothes started to coordinate together because these were colors that worked together. So I was like, my cluttered, crazy closet sort of turned into an organized, like, capsule wardrobe in a sense. I mean, I get a lot of emails from people saying like, this was like an instant capsule wardrobe. Like Can
you explain what a capsule wardrobe is in case someone's not familiar with that term?
Sure. It's just a curated wardrobe of clothing that all works together. It's intentionally clothing that's working together. And if you look up capsule wardrobes on Pinterest or something like that, you'll see a lot of neutrals. Like they're generally filled with a lot of neutrals, which some people like, and that's great. Like, of course, it's easy for neutrals to go together, but some people genuinely love wearing neutrals. I am not one of those people. I love wearing color.
Same.
And and one of the reasons like the capsule wardrobe concept never really worked for me is like, I don't really want to wear a lot of neutrals. I want to wear a lot of colors. And so this is, what we do is give people a color card where they can wear color, but all the colors work together. And so, yeah, it just solved problems for me. And then when I started talking to people about it, they wanted the service. It was as simple as that. So I started just with my friends, and then their friends wanted me to figure out their colors, and then I started doing color parties in people's homes. It was like a Tupperware party, but we were doing a group of people's colors. And then we brought it online in let's see, when was that? 2017. We came
17,
online
okay.
and started our virtual color analysis. Yeah. And now we
well,
are
and I found
and rolling.
you through, I'm an avid listener of podcasts as well. I listen to a lot of business podcasts and personal, also a variety of all of it. And I was listening to a business podcast where you were being interviewed and just talking about the growth of your business, the success of it. And as soon as I heard what the business was, I was taken back to that time with my grandmother and wondering, like, I didn't even have that booklet anymore, and figuring chances are my colors have changed because my hair color is different and there's more out there. Skin tone changes as we mature and all of that. And so one, I knew I wanted to connect with you just from a business perspective, but then second, I was just at that stage of life where I do like clothes. I like fashion, but my closet did not excite me. Like, it was just kind of like that. You open your door in the morning, you're like, oh, what am I going to put on? And, I have my passions for pink. And so it was like getting to the point where it was maybe too pink heavy. And so it was perfect that I, jumped right in and got my color analysis done. And for those of you watching the video, I'm going to hold up what mine is. I came out to be a vivid spring. And it's what, 35 color. Are they all 35 colors? So it's 35 colors. And then I also had my accompanying makeup card done as well, which I think this is like the secret weapon. How many times have I bought the wrong blush or lipstick? Like, oh my gosh, I literally just pull this out if I need to get any lip product and just make sure it's on here. So this has really been a blessing with me. And I want to ask you some questions on, like, specifically how we use these to help us save time. But I am curious, do you find, for people that maybe had colors done years ago, at what point do you think it's time to refresh a color palette? Is it if your hair changes? Like, what are some guidelines there that maybe it's time to update that?
Yeah, it's usually hair color changes are a big one. That's the biggest one that we see.
Okay.
Because, skin tone doesn't change too much throughout your life. But hair color can and does. And especially if you're coloring your hair now and, when you had your colors done, you weren't coloring your hair. If you've let your hair go gray, sometimes that can push people into a different color palette. And some people just have the feeling like, I got just the other day, I got a DM from a woman who said, like, I just feel like my colors aren't working for me anymore. And she had switched into a different season. It's not real common. Like, it doesn't happen often if you are not sort of changing your hair color, but it can happen. And so a lot of people who got it done in the 80s or 90s are coming to us and saying, like, I want to see, like, are these still the colors for me?
And it was interesting. My like, from a skin tone perspective, I really I struggled with pretty severe acne all through my teens, and so my skin was very red, which now is not. And so it did have a shift in things that I could wear. So the thing that's so cool, first, I want to make people understand this does not have to be an in-person. As you said, you went online. It was super easy. You sent me clear instructions of just taking photos. You gave very clear examples of how many pictures and how to do it. You do not share those pictures outside, everyone. So get comfortable with just taking natural photos so you can get the best results. What would you say is the biggest time saving people get when it comes to shopping first?
The thing about shopping is that we tend to do a couple of things. Number one, most people tend to buy the same things over and over again. Right. We all do that. And it's like when you think about, it's a lot like grocery shopping. Like when you go to a grocery store, how often do you put a new product in your cart? Almost never. You just buy the same things over and
Right.
over. And we do the same thing with clothes shopping. And so it's interesting when we give people a color palette, like sometimes people are concerned before they get their colors. Like, oh, is this going to like severely limit me? Am I going to feel so limited by this? But just like your sign says in the background there, structure is freedom. And what most people find is this actually like breaks them open into like trying these new colors that they never thought they could wear. And now they see they look absolutely gorgeous in. So most people have the opposite feeling once they have their color card in their hand. And shopping, I can't even tell you how many people come to us and they're like, shopping feels fun now. It's like a treasure hunt for my colors. I know the colors look good. Everything I take into the dressing room now I know looks good color-wise. I just have to assess like, do I like the way it fits me? Is it my style? Because you
Yes.
can really break down dressing into 3 very simple things, which is color, shape, personal style. That's it. That's all dressing is. And once you get a handle on each of those and like, what colors look great on you, what you personally like on your body shape and what your style is, you can buy things that you will love for years to come.
That's
And
so
yeah,
true.
yeah.
And I remember when I got my card, I went to one of my favorite boutiques with it. And I was looking at this because at first I was disappointed because my favorite shade of pink is not on here. But there's some that are just so close that I was like, you know what? I have some pieces in my closet I love. And even though it's not exactly this, I'm keeping them and I'm okay with that.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
don't care. But
Yes.
this has helped me lean into, which direction to go. But there were some colors on mine in particular, like yellows, sunflowers, oranges. I would never go pull out an article of clothing in kind
Yeah.
of that, my top row with more of the mustards, oranges. And after I got this was, I think one of the Pantone colors was yellow that year, several years back. So I went and
Yeah.
got a top and every single time I put that on, every time strangers will stop me and say how good that looks. And I never, ever would have put it on. And then the other thing that I thought has been really helped me is if anybody does subscription box, a
Oh,
Stitch
yeah.
Fix or a Daily Look or whatever, I just sent this in and said, don't
Yeah.
put anything in my box that doesn't look here. And she was thrilled. She's like, now, because the chances of me keeping the pieces coming my way goes up. So, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
win-win. So that's also been another huge saver for me, just from a shopping perspective.
100%. Yeah, it makes it so easy when you have a subscription box or something like that. And yeah, and I love how you had that experience too, where it kind of opened you up to colors you never would have considered before.
Never.
And it's like, why weren't you considering them? Well, who knows? It doesn't matter. You just were in your habits. We all get in our habits. But yeah, it saves so much time when shopping. I think it cuts shopping time in half,
It
easily.
does. And like
Yeah.
you said, and I've even found sometimes if there's just a more kind of neutral style top, like something to wear under a jacket, if I find a cut that I love, I will
Mhm.
maybe go get 2 or 3 in
Oh
different
yeah.
colors if it's kind of a shell. Cause I'm like,
Mhm.
I love the style. Let me lean into my colors that are going to best fit there. Now, as far as saving time, actually getting dressed, how do we use this to help save time there?
So here's the kind of bonus on the back end that nobody really expects when you get a color palette. So everybody's like, yay, it's going to be the colors I look best in. And that's awesome. Really big benefit. And like, yay, it's like going to help me shop faster. And that's great too. But this is for me, the biggest thing. It helps so much with putting outfits together because as you lean into the colors that are on your color card, your closet starts to coordinate way
Mm.
better. So everything starts to go with everything. So I just remember when I had like a smattering of like, just for example, this was true for all my articles of clothing, but a smattering of like every color shoe. I had brown shoes and black shoes and silver shoes and gold shoes and like, all these different colors that shoes can come in. And once I started using my color palette, I was like, okay, I'm somebody who has actually really embraced that. Like black is not a great color for me. It drains all the color from my face. It
I
doesn't
had to learn
go.
that from you. Like black
Yes.
is nowhere to be found
Yeah, that's
except for
right.
my makeup card. I'm allowed black mascara and that's it.
That's right. Black mascara. Me too. Me too. I can do a charcoal gray really
Same.
well. But I cannot do black. It's really heavy on me. Now, If I want to wear black pants, that might be like a little bit of a different story because, they're not up against my face. But in terms of what's up against my face, I got rid of the blacks, and really I got rid of a lot of blanket from my closet because it just made sense for me. So anyway, the point is, if I grab a pair of pants from my closet, almost every single shirt I have goes with that pair of pants. Every single pair of shoes I have goes with those pants and the shirt. My jewelry is all in the same color palette. So like, I have the metal that I wear particularly well, which is silver for me and gold for you.
Gold for me, yes.
But silver for me. And it's like everything goes together. My coats, like when I grab a jacket for that outfit, everything goes. This was the biggest game changer for me because it sort of created that easy, natural
Yes.
capsule wardrobe. And it limited what I brought into my wardrobe, which was the biggest thing. Because I used to, and I think a lot of people can probably relate to this, I used to be in the pattern of buying things and then purging, buying, purging, buying, purging. And I felt like I was always getting rid of stuff that I like kind of just bought not that long ago and didn't wear very much. Right. And then I kind of felt bad about it. I felt guilty. I was like, I wasted money. I wasted time finding that thing and I didn't really wear it. Why? I don't know, you know. But what I realized was like the problem, that cycle was not working for me. I felt like I was wasting a lot of money. And then when I started thinking about like, oh, I'm going to be way more intentional about what I bring into my wardrobe to begin with, everything changed. I own less clothes than I ever have before, and I am way happier with them and I wear them. They say you wear like 20% of your wardrobe. That's like the average is we wear actually 20. We grab the same things over and over. We wear the 20% of our wardrobe and the other 80% sits there, And I was definitely that person before I discovered color analysis. And then I think also, it's not just about color. It's really good to get a handle on what shapes of clothing you like on your body. That was huge for me. I always was resistant to that because I didn't want to put my body in like this box. I was like, I don't want to be identified as like this type of shape. But let me tell you, once I discovered what I actually liked on my body shape, I started to like my body way more.
Amen. And I can get
Way
dressed and
more.
feel
Yes.
more confident in what I'm wearing. Yeah.
100%. So I really I always wanted someone else's body before I learned how to dress my body shape. And so now I'm a very big proponent of like learning your body, how to dress it. What do you like on your body shape? Because I always wanted someone else's body. And now I actually really don't. Like, I really like my body shape. I know what fits my body shape. I stopped trying on shift dresses, which are super straight and I'm super curvy. I was like, oh, I just don't try them on anymore.
Right.
And then blame my body. I'm like, it's the dress that's wrong. It's the dress that's wrong, right? So if you just like discover, a little bit about body shape and then also just like, how do you want to show up? Personal style. So like the easiest thing is to just create a Pinterest board and like just put on there things you love. You wouldn't even have to know if they would you would like them, how they look on you. Just like start
No,
to
but
get
what
a
are you
sense
drawn to?
of your
Yeah.
aesthetic. Yeah, of your aesthetic. It's easy and it's free. Just create a Pinterest board and start to get some ideas. And then you'll see those things when you shop and you can translate them into an outfit. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things I've noticed is, you were talking about how you were always, buying and purging. Now, almost always when I'm purging, it's because something has just been worn too much. And I'm like, it's looking a little worn, Megan. And I am happy to purge in that situation because it means I loved it well and it was money well spent. And so I find when I do go through my purging now, it really is mostly because I'm like, this is looking a little rough.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't wear it anymore. Now, the other thing that it really changed for me was how much better my closet is organized and stays organized. Do you have any suggestions on how to use? Because, I have my system, but I don't know if I fell into it. Maybe you told me and I don't remember, but how you can use this to help keep your closet more organized and not just stuff crammed in there.
Yeah, well, I have a couple ideas on that. And one of them really doesn't have anything to do with color, but it's my favorite thing that I have come up with. And basically, I wanted to, for myself and my own sanity, not have a overstuffed closet. So what I did, this is probably 10 years ago now, but I bought a set of 50 hangers that all match. I
Me too.
decided
All
like
my
no
hangers
more.
match. I
Yes,
invested. They're so pretty.
that is so worth it to
It
see
is.
everything hanging at the same level. And, it's a nice hanger. And like, I mean, mine
Do you
are
have ones
platform.
you recommend? I use the Joy hangers, which I really like.
I don't know those, but I would love to look them up. I actually got a set years ago from IKEA, and I just
Okay.
bought like they came in a set of 10, and I bought like 5 sets of them. They're nice. They're like wooden hangers. They've got like the turnable
Okay.
thing, but they're kind of a lightweight wooden hanger because some of the wooden hangers are too
Yeah.
heavy. But I absolutely love the way it transformed my closet. But what I did was I decided I'm going to have 50 hangers and that's it. And now I have
I did the
drawers.
same thing.
You did?
Well,
I
I don't remember
freaking
what the
love
count was,
this.
but I got to where I'm like, this is a wardrobe size I'm comfortable with. I'm never
Yes.
allowed to buy another hanger, period.
Exactly. That's what I do. That's exactly what I do. And
Yes.
for some people, that number might be 200. 200 might be like a reasonable number for some people. For me, it was 50 hanging things. Now, I also have drawers where I keep like jeans. I have shelves for my sweaters, but this is for like dresses and tops. I do hang a couple of pants there too. But anyway, the whole point is yes, just it keeps you in line because I also, here's another thing I did. I took pictures of all of each thing that I have. Because now that I'm not like purging all the time, my closet does stay mostly the same unless something wears out for the most part. And the reason I keep pictures in my phone of what's already in my closet is when I'm out shopping and all my hangers at home are full, I know something has to go. And so if I want to buy something, something has to go. And so sometimes it helps to just look through and be like, okay, is there something I'm like tired of? Is there something I haven't worn in a long
Super
time?
smart.
Yeah. And also, does this garment go with what I have already? Which
Mhm.
if you're buying in your color palette, it likely does. But, am I buying a duplicate of something I already have, which we do all the
Right.
time? It might be slightly different, but it's basically the same garment with the same function in the same
Yeah.
color. And so that's been really helpful to me too. And I do organize my closet by color just because I like the way it
Me
looks.
too.
Yeah.
And I have days where like I know, I mean, everyone knows my love of pink. Certain times
Yeah.
if I'm speaking on stage or something, I like to show on brand. And so I like to have my pink stuff together. So I know if it's a day like, okay, I really want to be totally on brand today.
Yeah.
Here's my pinks to choose from. So yeah.
Love it. Yeah, it just makes me happy. When I look at my
Mhm.
wardrobe and it looks sort of like a rainbow, that just makes me happy. I know some people like will want to like organize by, tops and pants and whatever. And I think that's totally fine. Whatever you works for you. But I have come around to just really liking looking and seeing sort of the rainbow of colors. Yeah.
Me too. It's so good. And you did mention this earlier. I want to make sure people know when you were talking about your, you wear silver and I'm better with gold. Part of the color analysis that I was not expecting
Mm,
was that piece of sharing with me, like, hey, here are the metals that are going to best serve you as well.
yes.
And that was very interesting for me because I do remember way back when it was silver. Like I was told only
Mhm.
to wear silver, but I'm like, I'm drawn to gold. And now I realize gold is a better fit for
It
me
is.
today.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say somebody goes out, gets their color analysis done, and walks into their closet and freaks out because they realize nothing in there matches their palette. How do you kind of guide them through a transition to learning to shop with our colors? Because I mean, obviously, we can't all afford to throw our whole closet away and start fresh, right?
That's right. That's right. And first of all, let me say that's very rare. There's
Okay.
35 shades on the card,
That's true
and
with
and
35 shades. Yeah.
with 35 shades, and most people come and they do know some of their best shades. Like there are some, like most people come and they're like they know 3 or 4 of their best shades, and they're ignoring a whole bunch of others that would look amazing on them. But like they know that this one dress, they get compliments every time they wear it, and every time they look in the mirror they just love the way they look in it. And so it's very rare that it's starting fresh. But most of the time it's transitioning some things out and transitioning some new things in. And so that I always recommend to move slowly with that. So I always think when you get your color card, it's a great time to go through your closet and look for things that you don't wear, you never really like that much anyway, and now they're not on your color card as well. Get rid of those things
Perfect
first.
place to start. Yeah.
Perfect place to start. Now, a lot of people run into like, oh, like I really like this top or dress or whatever, but it's not on my color card. Keep it. Because a lot of times what happens is over time, as you start to wear more and more your colors, it will fall away on its own naturally. Like you don't have to push it if you're like, it's not on my color card and I'm crying. I don't want to get rid of it. Like work with it. There's also ways to work with things like people, one of the biggest questions I get asked about is the little black dress. Now, of course, black looks great on some types, right? But on some types, it really doesn't. But like, what if you have this black dress that you love and you love the way it fits you, and a little black dress seems like that classic thing everybody should have. But I always just recommend thinking about how you can bring your colors near your face.
Yes.
Like, so use a scarf, use jewelry. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you have to immediately ditch that dress.
Yeah, and
Just
I
like,
learned that from you because that was hard for
yeah,
me to see. I had no black on my card, and I have some black tops I really like and a black dress. And I didn't get rid of all of them because some are
yeah,
my style, like they're a
yeah,
little edgy and I like them, but I make sure when I wear them, I am wearing one of my very vibrant colors in earrings, or if I'm
yes,
out, a coat or a purse, my shoes, something.
exactly.
So it's like, yeah, I feel like, I've given myself
Yes.
permission to say sometimes I stray from the card, but I find ways to incorporate my color back
That's
in.
right. It's sort of that idea of like knowing the rules and then knowing when you break the rules, right? Like so a
Yeah.
lot of people yeah, they'll put on a cardigan or a sweater with that, that color that doesn't, isn't maybe one of the best up against their face, or big earrings, or like a statement necklace, or there's all sorts of ways to work with it. So I always say take it slow. It happens kind of naturally when people start like wearing their colors, they see the difference, people are complimenting them more. They're like, wow, this really is different and better. And then over time, those things that aren't on their card generally just fall away, like when it's time on their own.
What I love about this is, for those of you listening that are students in the top program, we have the 9 components that we teach in there. And this hits a lot of them. So it hits the centralization pillar where we talk about organizational strategies. Like this for me has helped me organize my wardrobe. But then, as I've often shared, getting organized is pointless if you don't have the systems in place that support keeping it organized. And so for
Yeah.
me, this is where having these cards is my system for how to keep myself organized. And so I love that you've provided this tool set. And at the time you guys are listening to this, it is gift giving season.
Yeah.
And this is something I personally have gifted to friends and family. And I want people to understand this could be a great holiday gift option for someone, because you can go right on your website and the option is you're doing this for yourself or as a gift.
Yeah.
And you give a lot of options on how this can be gifted for someone. So if there's somebody in your life that you haven't maybe settled on a gift for yet for the holidays or an upcoming birthday or anything like that, definitely consider this. So where can people go to learn about all the different color analysis packages you have?
Sure. So our website is colorguru.com. And then we're on Instagram at Your Color Guru.
All right. And we've got all the links in the show notes. And guys, she is so amazing. She has a special coupon just for my listeners, which I love. So if you go and check out, put in the word harmony as a coupon code, and you will get a discount, even if you're purchasing it as a gift for someone. So I can't thank you enough for offering that. I love my color analysis. I am a vivid spring. So for those of you that go get your colors done, hit me up if you're a vivid spring as well. So I can, which is the least common? Have you found one?
Vivid spring.
Of course it
Vivid
is.
spring is the least common. The 2 least common are vivid winter and vivid spring. Yes.
Okay.
So
All
we
right.
have 12 types, and those are the 2 rarest.
All right. Well, I want to know where my other vivid springs are out there. So come hit me up on Instagram and let me know. Thank you so much for building this incredible business, which has served so many people, and for sharing all of this wonderful knowledge with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.